Hi and welcome to my video. This week I'm sharing two delicious recipes. The first is for masala paneer and the second is for kachumber salad. These two recipes are part of a series that I'm calling Making Something Out of Nothing. Because even though you might think that a paneer dish is very complicated to make, this actually uses things that you probably already have in your fridge or pantry. Now the only thing that you might not have is in fact the paneer. If you don't have paneer, I encourage you to use potato, and if you don't have potato, use some steamed cauliflower because this masala is very versatile and you can just about cook anything with it. If you have a spice dabba, chances are you have all these spices because they are the most common, and I'm sure you have tomato, onion, ginger, and garlic in your fridge because most Indian kitchens have those items. Most non-Indian kitchens have those items. Something a little special is the kasuri methi, which is dried fenugreek. If you don't have that, add some fresh chopped cilantro or, just leave it out altogether. So the first thing you have to do is to prepare the onion, ginger, and garlic. I like to slice my onion for this dish, but you can honestly cut it up any way that you like. It's not going to make any bit of difference. And I lately have been shredding my ginger and garlic, I guess grating it would actually be the right word. I think it brings out a lot more flavor and it makes the pieces small enough that I can eat them without really detecting them. But do what you want, chop it up, crush it, and then put that aside for later. Then heat up some oil in a non-stick skillet or wok on about medium-high and just put everything in there. Actually, I don't mean everything. Put in the cumin seeds and wait for them to get nice and crackly like that. Then just go ahead and add everything that you just chopped or grated, so the onion, ginger, garlic. And then push these around until everything is nicely coated in that oil, and then just add the remaining spices right on in there. Because another thing that we don't have a lot of when we're cooking is time. This recipe is very forgiving and it's not going to make one bit of difference whether you wait for the onions to get translucent first, so just add all the spices, mix it all up, and allow it to cook for a few minutes. Of course, if it's looking a little dry to you, then just add a touch of water. That will sort of help the spices to combine a little more easily with the onion. Then turn down the heat a little bit, spread out the onions, and let them cook. About 2 or 3 minutes later, the onions will have cooked down really nicely, and you can add the tomato puree. It's not going to make any difference whether you're using freshly pureed tomato or canned tomato puree. So whether you're someone who cooks with a lot of fresh ingredients or whether you have to rely mostly on canned ingredients, this should work out for you either way. At this point, I'm going to add the kasuri methi, and kasuri methi is a little bit coarse, so I try to rub it between my fingers as I add it, try to break up those leaves a little bit just to help. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just let this puree reduce until it becomes more like a paste. And if you're looking at that and thinking, "Ooh, you let that go too far, Anila." No, I didn't, because I had that on the lowest heat possible, and as you can see, it's moving around just fine, but the excess liquid has evaporated. At this point, I add the paneer, and I try to combine everything using a kind of turn and flip motion so that the paneer doesn't crumble up too much. Now, if you're someone who wants to take this to the next level and you want to fry off that paneer first, you could certainly do that by all means, and I applaud you. I didn't because neither Pranav nor myself really likes it that way, and once this is combined, the dish is done. Moving on to dish number 2, which is kachumber salad. I am not even ashamed to say that I'm practically using kitchen scraps to make this salad. As you can see, it's like leftover things that I haven't quite finished. And this is one of the most simplistic salads you could possibly make. You literally grab a bunch of stuff out of your fridge, chop it up in roughly the same shape, and toss it together in a bowl. And that's exactly what I'm doing. An even more bare-bone version of this doesn't use the cabbage or the radish. So you can make this with actually just 3 things, like the tomato, cucumber, and onion, and it will be just as tasty. Sometimes instead of a radish, I add a carrot, or I might add little bits of celery. Now the traditional version, as I said, is really just cucumber, onion, and tomato, but you can always add anything that you need to finish up, which I always end up with a ton of stuff, little bits here and there all the time. Also, don't forget to add this. And if you are someone who doesn't really enjoy hot peppers, then remove the seeds, but adding a little pepper is going to just wake it up and make it so yummy. So I have lime juice here. You could obviously use lemon juice. And then the other things that I'm going to quote unquote dress my salad with are black salt, which is actually pink in color. And I do encourage you to try to find this or use this because it has a very distinct aroma, unlike regular table salt. And of course, black pepper. And if I have to adjust the salt, if it's not salty enough, I tend to do that with just regular old table salt, instead of adding more of the kala namak or more of the black salt, because if you add too much of that, that can really get out of hand very quickly. Alright, so making our way to the final presentation. Garnish your masala paneer if you want to with some fresh coriander or some fresh mint. That of course is optional, and you can enjoy this with rice or roti depending on the texture that you make. You can make that a little more watery, kind of like with a gravy, and it'll go great with rice. Or you can make it on the drier side like I did, and it'll go great with chapati or fulka. And then a little bit of this salad on the side because the paneer is quite rich. And you have a really nice little meal there. Not with obscure ingredients, nothing that you might have had to run too far for, so essentially you've made something out of nothing. I think I forgot to adjust the salt in the paneer, or I did, but I didn't show it. Maybe I didn't talk about it. Add salt to your food, okay? Not a lot because salt is a killer, but add a little bit, as per your preference, of course. Thank you for supporting my work and watching this video, and hopefully subscribing to my channel. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, and that way you never miss a video from me, because I release stuff every Monday, usually about food, but sometimes it's about travel, or sometimes it's travel and food. Alright, I will see you in the next video next week. Okay, bye-bye.